Welcome to your weekly investor-oriented program, the Nigerian Investor. Last week, we brought to you an update on SEC directive to AIMS Asset Management on the payment of interest to an investor. While this week on this program, we want to bring to you an update on the 24th Annual General Meeting of the Alison-Madueke Trust Bank held at Muson Centre. The shareholders of the bank showered encomium on the bank based on its performance, while some also expressed their reservation about the disposal of the bank's subsidiaries. Let's hear from the shareholders. Can we meet you, sir?
Thank you. My name is Diezani. I'm the National Coordinator of Proactive Shareholders Association of Nigeria, and I'm a shareholder of GTBank as well.
Are you comfortable with the performance of this bank at the end of this financial year end?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. If you look at their earnings per share, the profit after tax, you discover that the bank has done incredibly well. I can say they are the second best after Zenith Bank, considering their results this year. So they have done very well, and we are pleased with them.
Yeah, Supreme Evangelist Prince Anthony Mojola is the name.
So are you comfortable with the management of this meeting today?
The management is okay. They've tried their best. There's always room for improvement. Everything has gone as planned.
Sir, looking at the performance of this bank and the acquisition of the banks in East Africa, Kenya, Rwanda and co. Do you think this acquisition will add more to the performance of this bank in the nearest future?
Of course, it will. But what we need to do is that we have changed ourselves by not allow our banks to expand so much locally. So the only avenue to do is to expand externally offshore, so that at the end of the day we'll be able to earn more foreign exchange for the betterment of the taking. And what I mean by that is that when you spread your dragnet and we are able to manage your investment offshore, on the long run you tend to gain more than what you are losing. In the interim, when you start, you have a lot of exposition. You give out a lot of money, but when it is enough time, when everything will have stabilized, then you start gaining from your expansions.
If you look at it, they did not apply for the ODCO structure. They are going to only call banking. If you look at all these subsidiaries that are retained, they are banks in those 10 countries. We can call them offshore subsidiaries. And with this thing they are doing, they are taking Africa gradually. I think they're able to move to other continents the way they have been doing. If they can continue that particular thing, it's a welcome development.
Do you have any reservation about this bank?
Thank you very much. The only reservation I have about not only these banks, about banks generally is this. I'm a shareholder activist. I don't take all these results they post alone. There are other things behind the scene. Look at disposal of all these subsidiaries. If you look at the page 285, 284, 285 on the annual report, they were telling about inflow of the undisposable assets of the subsidiary and outflow. You discover that they make loss on the item they have told us they have disposed. We are not comfortable with that. Look at one of their subsidiary, GT registrars, now GT data marks or what they call it. All these things. We expect them to make money. You look at UBA registrars when they go for ODCO structures, is now known as African Prudential Registrars. These are somebody who wants a kind of unreserved disclosures. That's what corporate governance is all about. So this is why some of the issues some of us are pursuing that this needs to be done. Like the issue of those disposal or subsidiary is not a concluded issue at all. We are wrote to the National Assembly and we are copying the regulatory authorities. We are pursuing to look because they are what we call asset stripping. Some of the assets of most of these subsidiaries have been passed over by most of these directors or this. They come to the AGM and share. Personally, I believe there are a lot of things have gone on that thing, which you need. There must be continual disclosure. And now, let me say this: if you look at when there is no definition, there are going to be deviation abuses. People don't know the definition for director. A director, they are just trusted, privileged ones, backed up by the shareholders because we approve their nomination. we ratified the appointment on the floor of AGM, which means without shareholders, they are not our director. So they are trustees to us, all this thing. So they don't have any better, because not everybody, look at the number of shareholders here, by 1 million of them. Nobody can go and sit on this thing. Some people have to be our. So one thing they are going to do, there must be disclosure. That's what we are standing for. Thank you very much.
Also, we attended the closing bell ringing and filed behind the listing of Seplat PSC. In attendance were the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. Diezani, Alison-Madueke, Mr. Olusegun Aganga, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, as well as the Chairman and CEO of the company. Let's hear for the dignitaries and the management of Seplat PSC.
Seplat has become a global brand, making very bold statements to herald the transformation of the indigenous participation of the Nigerian oil and gas landscape. We believe that we have, by this process, opened the window of opportunity to other countries, other companies, both in the Nigerian and the African continent.
That Nigerian companies who have fought and struggled to be a part of these divestments are in some form or the other not equipped or not worthy of that participation. So let me say once again, for the record, that the government of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan will support all and every Nigerian who has the wherewithal and the drive and the diligence to come into the oil and gas sector and to survive and to stand tall in it.
It's not going to be easier, not just meeting the requirements, but to make sure that you continue to meet the requirements. This shows that Seplat is a top-rated firm, not only in Nigeria, but globally. For the NSC, it's a brilliant news again. You know, it's again diversifying the economy. It's about deepening the economy. They have delivered. In 2012, I think the average growth was about 35%. In 2013, the growth was about 47%. They are delivering in terms of deepening, raising capital, addressing, bringing investors to the area. But what is also more significant about this is the wealth creation and creating a new consumer group.
Our growth is based on 3 planks. Organic growth, which you have seen, you've seen what we've done with our production and reserves. Whatever asset we operate, we take full advantage of the strong technical team we have built to ensure that every barrel of crude oil and every standard cubic foot of gas in that asset, we will find it and we will produce it. That's organic growth. So we grow our production, we grow our reserves. The second plank of our growth, long-term growth strategy, is gas commercialization. We now have a robust domestic gas industry here in Nigeria for several reasons that you all know. We're happy to say that we've keyed into that, currently producing 130 million scf of gas a day. And as you see in our perspectives, we think that by the end of 2016, we'll be producing close to 400 million scf of gas a day into the domestic market to our economy.
Upcoming AGMs in the market are Access Bank PSC on the 30th of April 2014 at Lagos Oriental Hotel, CWG PSC at Victoria Crown Plaza, Lagos on the 19th of June 2014, Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank PSC on the 29th of April 2014 at Rockville in Abuja, BOC Gases PSC on the 26th of June 2014 at Lagos Airport Hotel, Ikeja, and Anino International PSC on the 29th of April 2014 at 21 Kofoya Bayami Street, Victoria Land, Lagos. The following companies has declared corporate actions, and their Computer Warehouse Group declared 8 kobo, and the closure date set for 17th of April 2014, while BOC Gases PSC declared 10 kobo, and the closure date set for 27th to 30th of May 2014. On announcements in the market, Anino PSC has released the notice of its annual general meeting, and they are to discuss the following ordinary and special business. 1, to appoint additional directors. 2, to fix the remuneration of directors. 3, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors and company secretary. 4, to increase the authorized share capital of the company. To authorize the board to further increase the share capital of the company as they deem fit from time to time. 6, to elect members of the audit committee. 7, to change the company's registered address. 8, to change the company's name. And 9, that additional objects be added to the memorandum of association of the company. On people and changes in board, Skybank PLC has announced the appointment of Timothy Oguntayo as the Managing Director and CEO designate. The bank notified the exchange that its board of directors at the meeting end of Monday, April 14, 2014, approved the retirement of Mr. Kehinde Durotimieti, the bank's group MD and CEO, to take effect from August 2014. The board, at the same time, in line with its succession plan, appointed Mr. Timothy Oguntayo as the new Managing Director, CEO of the bank. Mrs. Amaka Onwogun was also appointed the Deputy Managing Director of the bank with effect of April 15, 2014. Custodian announces the resignation of Chief Mrs. Margaret Giwa as Director. The Board of Directors of the company at its meeting of March 2014 approved the resignation of Chief Mrs. Margaret Giwa effective December 27, 2013. ETI also announced the co-option of Iwit Agboyega as non-executive director of the bank. Welcome to the Watchdog segment of this program. Seplat share price changes NSE pricing methodology. The exchange wishes to advise its stakeholders that there is a lacuna in its current ruling on pricing methodology. The ruling does not set forth a pricing methodology for determining the price movement where a new security is priced above 100 naira at the time of listing. So in these circumstances, therefore, the exchange has decided to take the most reasonable steps in the interest of investors and the capital market to seek a change in its ruling. Thank you for joining us on this program.